It is time for the Midlife Hockey Crisis Beer League podcast with your hosts TJ Hollingsworth and Dangly Dave Dickerson. Take it away, boys.
Morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're at. Welcome to the Midlife Hockey Crisis podcast, the Beer League edition. My name is TJ.
My name is Dave. Hello.
And we are going to talk some Beer League hockey for you today, friends. But first, it's not Beer League without beer, so
now we got a
quick
couple
toast.
Here. Clink.
Clink.
Yep.
Okay, a little swallow of that.
A little pre-show gasoline.
Little warm-up.
Yeah, a little warm-up.
That's pretty important. If you talk to any decent athlete, they'll tell you warm-up's incredibly important. So,
especially in the league that we're in.
Yes, carbohydrate loading.
Got to carb up.
All right. Well, hey, as I mentioned, we are doing some of this broadcast is going out live on Instagram. So if you're watching that on there, great. If not, if we do end up using this audio, all the stuff we're talking about, we will be posting pictures on Instagram. You can find us there at Midlife Hockey Crisis. Just do a search for that. We will come up. Got a lot of cool things to talk about today. I have recently become the new owner of two brand new Arsenal hockey sticks.
And they are very cool.
I'm very excited about this. How do you know? We haven't opened them yet.
Well, we were on the website earlier. They're very cool. I like the graphics. I like what they have going on about them. Got
the box sitting right back there for those of you watching on Instagram. So lest anyone think this is just a shameless promotional plug, I am the owner of these. I bought these sticks. I'm not really a review kind of guy because I don't know that much about hockey sticks other than when I hit the puck. Sometimes it goes where I want it to. Sometimes it doesn't.
Same story.
Pretty sure that's probably more operator-induced than it is stick-induced. But I'm kind of the theory that beer leaguers, hey, we're all doing this on some type of a budget.
Yeah.
And if there's an opportunity to get good quality or better quality that I can get it at an affordable price, I'm going to try it out. Plus, I'm all about the small business guy. I'm one myself, winningsynthetics.com, one of our sponsors here. So I'm going to support small business if I can. So, Dave, I'm going to have you go ahead and reach over your shoulder there. Those watching Instagram will see this. If you're not, I say we're unboxing this. I did open the box simply because opening a box, especially on a podcast, just has absolutely no real value to it at all.
Yeah,
so the box is actually already open. The box is open. Dave pulled those out.
We've got some sticks here. I'll pull them both out at the same time.
Okay. Now they have
actually, you know what? I'll leave this one. I'll leave that one. All right. Take a look at this.
They have two different sticks, and they both got great price points. One's called the Covet, and the other one is the Envy. The Covet is kind of an entry-level model for the rec league player. It comes in at, I think it was $89.99 or $89. I'm going to pull it up here on the website while you're opening the bag there. And then they have the Envy, which comes in at just under $130 at $129.
Yeah, we got lots of crackling.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool noise. It's like Christmas.
Yeah, it is like
or something like that.
So this is the Envy. So
okay, so you got the Envy. Let's set that out. Let's do them in order. Let's do the Arsenal. Grab that one in there.
All right.
I'm sorry. No, I got it backwards. So this is the Covet. Okay, you've got the.
Yep.
Okay, you've got the Covet there in your hand.
Yeah, Envy's on the table.
Okay, the Envy's actually they're backwards on here. The Envy is the more expensive of the two. So let's we
got to protect the sticker. It comes
very important. Cool sticker. They got a great logo.
Yeah.
Skull with cross sticks.
Yeah, sticks behind it.
Not too bad. But these are cool. I'm just going to read you a little bit about the stick. Then, which one are you holding in your hand there for those watching at home?
The Covet. So I've got
the Covet. The Covet. Let's see what we've got here. Some information on it. Where are we going? Our reviews. We got reviews. I need some details. Well,
I've got Flex and Curve right here.
I tell you, they're a brand new company, brand new, I should say. They've been around for a little while. They've got their two sticks out right now that we're opening. They're both 85 Flex, and they both have the same blade on them right now. And for the rec league player, you're probably, I know I'm not really at that point where I'm too worried about what the curve is and what the pitch of the blade. I'm not good enough for that to follow into anything. But this comes in two finishes. You can go with the smooth finish. I went with the grip finish just because that's what I've been playing with. They are both an 85 Flex with an A92 curve, and you're looking at just a little bit of a weight difference in the two sticks. Yeah, from what I call now. I did make a phone call. First to start off as an online conversation, a phone call with Andy Oman, who is his official title is CEO and founder. We chatted a little bit about his sticks, tell him what we're doing the podcast and what have you, and he gave me some lowdown on this. And basically what we're going to do is I'm not going to talk too much about it right now simply because what we're going to talk about. Two hockey sticks we took out of a box.
2 hockey sticks.
You're going to play with one of them tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm going to play around. I got a game tomorrow night. I could probably play with one of these guys.
I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
Yeah, I could probably I got a new headset today, folks. Don't know how
There
to
we
use
go.
it.
Much better.
So yeah, I'm going to playing it tomorrow night, and we've got a stick and puck on Thursday.
Right. So you get your
we
league
could
game
really
tomorrow.
Try both of them.
Stick and puck Thursday, which will be fun because we'll have a lot of guys. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to pass these around. We're going to leave one of them. Dave's a little taller than I am. These are 60-inch sticks. They all come at 60-inch right now. And someone let you tape one up. I don't care which one. And what we'll do is I'll cut the other one down for me. And then we'll kind of have a short guy and a tall guy.
They're
And then stick and puck.
pretty tall. It's nice.
Yeah, we do a Thursday stick and puck where we have I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 8 guys that'll come out and skate with us at any given time. And I'm just going to pass the sticks around, and we'll pull the camera out and pull the phone out and just get some real-time reviews, see what people think of them.
Absolutely.
So this will be cool. So, Andy, thank you very much. Expedited shipping for us. When I told him we're going to be, I don't want to call it a review because I don't want you not buying something because I don't like it. If this is a good stick, I'll tell you I like it. I enjoy it. Again, what I'm looking for is value. I'm going to spend either $90 or $130.
I was going to ask you again what the prices were.
Right. You're looking at on this. Let me get this going here again. The two levels you have. I just dumped the page. There we go. And get back to the sticks here. They're very. I mean, they're great. As far as affordability is concerned, yeah, the Covet. Hold that one up. You show the Covet.
Okay, I've got the Covet. Covet's right here, the blue.
All right.
The graphics are kind of sealed in blue here.
All right. Now the Covet is I believe that is the more expensive of the two. Yeah, that's going to come in at $129. Which that's amazing. If you go out and buy a Warrior or a CCM stick, entry level model, there you're going to spend $100 all day long.
Yeah, and it's light. It's light. The flex is great. It feels pretty good so far.
And we'll jump on Instagram. I'll get this taped up, weighed against the two Warriors that I own, and we can check that out. And then the other one,
the Envy.
The Envy. This is the entry level stick. This would be something that if you were a brand new hockey player like ourselves, you're just buying your first round of gear. You can buy a used stick, and I would certainly tell somebody not to do that. However, if you can afford it, get something brand new. Sticks have a lifespan on it. If you've ever watched an NHL game, sticks are going to break at some point. You just don't know when it's going to be. So why not start fresh?
Yeah, and at that price point.
Yeah, and you're at $89.
Yeah, that price point's really. This is a nice stick.
Yeah, well made. The graphics on it are nice. Not the graphics are gonna make a stick any better, but they look nice. They look, you're not gonna feel like you're out there with Bob's generic hockey stick.
No, and if you put a blindfold on, I bet half the league wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Exactly. And truth be told, most players at our level can't tell the difference between a $400 stick and a $90 stick.
Not at all.
So yeah, two options: $130, $89, or 90, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to give them a shot. So make sure you tune in. Instagram is going to be the best place to catch up on this, and if you're hearing this down the road, go back. All this will be archived on Instagram. We'll tape these up. I'll do some stuff here. I'll weigh out my Warrior versus this. I don't want to do it now because one's got tape, one doesn't, so it wouldn't be a fair. And again, not that weight's a huge deal. I just don't think the average rec league player is going to know the difference between 10, 15, 20, 30 grams.
No, I don't think so at all.
I think it's going to be a big deal. All right, cool. All right, well, Andy, again, thanks for expediting the shipping. You threw a couple other goodies in there, some stickers, a couple of hats. I appreciate that. But I am the owner. I paid money for them, cash. So we'll see how these work out. I'm excited about trying these. And Dave, you're going to get to try them first.
Yeah, they're nice. They feel good. They feel really good.
Yeah, I think when we get done here, we're probably going to go out on the shooting pad and swat a few.
Fling a few pucks, absolutely.
All right, well, cool. Let's throw those back in there, and let's get into the meat of today's broadcast. We both had our first league game. Dave and I, Dave plays in two different leagues. I'm only playing in one this go-around, but we did have our first game, and we got to play together, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. So we started on Sunday, 9 in the morning, which is a little early, but that's fine.
That is. And, for Beer League gets its name typically because there is beer involved.
There's a lot of beer involved. Mostly after. That was a little early to start drinking.
That was something I was thinking about. I did see a couple guys swig, and I myself have never understood. If you're going to go out and sweat your cojones off, why you'd want to be drinking alcohol before that. But some people do, so have at it. But,
I don't think I can drink on the bench. Maybe in some games. Maybe a tournament game. Long day.
Maybe
a lot of
tournament,
games.
yeah, where you spend a lot of money to get down there and to get liquored up to play.
That's pretty much it right there. But yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning, jumped on the ice, and it was basically show up and play. But it's a league, so it's some of the players wore black, some of the players wore white. We all wanted to wear white together, so that was kind of cool. We all got to play together, and it was
was fun.
Yeah, it was just a casual. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was casual. There was some competitiveness to it, but people were following. There were some pretty brand new people.
Yeah, I'll
which
tell
made
you,
it great. Yeah, I mean, great
for D League. Again, every D League is going to be different. Every area you go to is going to be different, just simply because the pool of talent is going to be different. This is a little different situation because what was D League the last session, which was literally 3 weeks ago, has most of those guys have moved up to a newly created C3. Now, if you have no idea what we're talking about, player skill levels in league play are rated A, B, C, and D. The deeper into the alphabet you go, the lack of experience. The newer you are. They were running into a situation to where there was becoming a pretty big gap between the very good D players and the new players. So they decided, let's go ahead and create a C3. They already had a C1 and a C2. C1 player should be a little better on paper than a C2. So they created a C3 as some place for all this talent to go, and also to make it easier for new players to get in. Because one of the things you'll find is if you're a player that's new to the game and struggling, and you're playing with a lot of people that are better than you, getting touches can be a challenge.
You're out there skating a lot, and that's kind of it.
A lot of skating, not a lot of touching the puck.
Yeah, and I was in that position too, and I'm sure you were as well.
Every day.
The players were really good. You weren't getting the passes. Not that they didn't want to pass to you, but the playmakers, right. So it's really cool that they split it. They recognize the need for essentially it's the D League. With stats, and it's a little bit more competitive. So with this one, I mean, it made sense. I mean, it's a great league.
It did. It was, the thing I found interesting was, like you said, there were quite a few new players. I mean, a couple people that I'm not sure that they'd been on the ice maybe 2 or 3 times in their life.
Yeah, very, very brand new, and that's what D League is for. But yeah, there were some folks that rough skating and the skills weren't there, but that's perfect because that's what this league was pretty much developed for.
Right, and it was kind of inspiring. I wish I'd have caught his name because he was sitting right next to me in the dressing room. But I don't think this guy can move more than 8 or 10 feet without completely flailing and just wiping out. But dude was skating.
Got up and laughed, and
skated his ass off.
Yeah, he was. He fell, I think, every single time out, but he got back up, put his stick on the ice, tapped for a couple passes. Sometimes he caught him, sometimes they didn't. We'd pass to him, but it's just that was perfect. That's exactly what D League, and I know that's the chatter among the league, is that there's really, it's gotten too competitive, etc. But this is a great league, especially for somebody who wants to start.
Exactly. So again, this kind of dovetails on what we talked about last time about how to get started in the game. Now, you had looked into, in fact, were signed up for the C3 League, which you're certainly, your talent level, and I'm not just blowing sunshine up here because we're sitting here, but your talent level certainly there. But here in Central Indiana, the place we usually play had a major maintenance issue, and kind of pulled the plug on the
facility. Both ice at the same time,
which is great way to go.
It's going to be fantastic, but usually unheard of where they just close down the whole rink. But one of them was concrete, one was sand, and we'll get into that kind of stuff later.
Just know sand is what anything made in the last 15 years has been made, and that's kind of what the base of, if you don't know how ice is made, and this is something I even had to look up on YouTube, you've got a large concrete floor that has a giant cooling system underneath it. If you ever walked through an ice rink or outside of one, there's big giant compressors just making all kinds of noise. That is essentially a humongous air conditioner that is pumping extremely cold fluid into the floor, which they start spraying water on. They don't dump gallons of water on it. It's literally a Zamboni-like machine comes out and just sprays a light layer after layer after layer. And technology's advanced to where they used to do concrete, they now do sand as the base with concrete over the top of it.
Yeah, and the second rink was going to be sand, and they couldn't transport all the concrete and all the broken items over fresh new ice. So they closed them both down, and then we are playing in Westfield, which is not too much farther away, literally down the street.
For me it's closer to me.
Right now. So they adjusted all the times, but they did a really good job.
They did a great job.
They kept the league.
Most
places would cancel it, or we're going to play next week. They kept the league. They just kind of shifted times, and a lot of the folks, so I right in the middle. They made it really late, 9 o'clock,
for
10
C3,
o'clock, 11 o'clock, for C3. And then they bumped it right in the middle, and I can't do that. So they bumped the D League to the 9 o'clock time slot.
Right, 9 a.m.
Absolutely perfect.
Which was perfect unless you like the pregame.
And post game the night before.
Post game, yes, that made it a little rough. We were wife and I were out with some friends on Saturday. I was the whole time looking around watching. Hey, I better go. Hey,
we got a game.
I
got a game in a few hours. So yeah, it worked itself out for all of us, but it was a great experience. You had some pretty higher level players there, and you had some pretty entry level players, but everybody gave some room. It was just a good day. I mean,
good balance of players too. I'm kind of interested now, having come from just played I got to finish after I broke my ankle in the first session of D League, but we had 6 teams, I think, 6 or 8 teams. So we actually had the same group of players. Now suddenly we went from 130, 140 players to I think 28.
Yeah.
So essentially, what they've done is rather than have black team and white team in this best of 18 series, we're playing over the course of 18 weeks. It's about 20 with
some of the breaks and holidays.
The idea was, here's what we'll do is we'll change those teams up every time, which in a true D League I think is great because you get a chance to play with different people,
different skill levels. This guy passes, you can teach how to pass,
right?
And you can skate. So I think it's gonna be a good lane. We got 17 more to kind of figure it out, but it's great the way that they're handling, and shout out to them for not canceling the league.
That's everybody at the Carmel Ice Stadium in Indiana. Yeah. Great job.
Yep.
So, Dave, let me ask you a question. As you set up here, we got approximately 17 more games. When you started this season, what were some things you looked at? Here's some things in my game I would like to improve over the next 3.5-4 months.
I think the biggest thing for me is the one-on-one. The one-on-one, I call it combat. I pass, everything really, but for me it's
hit on a couple of them just so people have some idea.
So passing, a lot of the passing, I think when we do stick and pucks and we're in games, I'll pass in front of you, I'll pass behind you, and if you're just starting out, it is very difficult as you're skating to direct a pass to your stick.
Exactly. And for anybody that's ever played basketball, you can stand across the court and throw chest pass all day long.
And
now do it running down the court.
Yeah.
You're not throwing at the person, now you're throwing in front of them.
You've got that momentum, they've got the momentum, and then you've got this thing sliding on the ice. And
right.
That was the one thing I struggled with, and I still do at times, but I'll pass and it's behind you, in front of you, because I have that basketball. I played basketball forever, but that it was very difficult.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to work on. I want to work on defense. I think that's one thing that there's a couple other guys that are playing in our league that they want to shift back because that's a whole new game back there.
It is completely different.
Completely different game.
We both got to play some games.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I'd done it one other time on our previous team with Bob, and it was great. And for those of you that don't understand all the positioning, essentially you have 5 players besides the goalie that are out on the ice. You have 3 what you call forwards. You have one that plays on the left side, and this is as you're playing offense, trying to score. You got a left winger, a right winger, and a center. And essentially, those are the areas of the ice you're responsible for, both on offense and when you come back on defense. Now, when you're playing defense, you're typically not going to advance much past the blue line.
You kind of creep in a bit, protect your area.
But you're going to kind of stay up there unless you've just got a straight-on shot. So, rather than now my game's all about scoring, now your game's all about keeping the puck in the offensive zone, getting the puck down deeper to people that can score, and then when it's coming the other way, shutting that down. It's a whole different game.
You protect it, and that's one of those, like skating backwards. That's one of the skills that you're going to have to learn. Poking and kind of creating a big giant area for those guys that are coming. They're coming at you pretty aggressively usually.
The thing I found myself forgetting is I was wanting to be a little more aggressive on defense, a little more what we call, when we say checking, everybody thinks a check. So when a guy blasts somebody into the boards, that is one form of a check. There's a poke check where literally somebody's skating at you and you're poking, trying to poke the puck away with your stick. Forecheck when they are still on their end of the ice coming towards their goal and you're down there confronting them down there. That's called a forecheck. A back check when you're trying to get them from behind. So as you hear us say check, we're not talking about crashing into each other, because in most leagues, there are no contact leagues, no intentional contact.
Like we said, the crashing together is just what happened. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, I had one of those. That was a great way to kick the season off.
Yeah, and I think the last thing that I want to work on, and I'd like to ask the same of you, like what kind of stuff you want to work on being a D? again, the one-on-one combat, because stick handling is one thing. I mean, you see the guys in the magazines and on the NHL, they kind of dangle.
That's ridiculous.
Kind of, the stick handling. But that's the one thing I want to learn is how am I going to get around you?
Right.
It's very difficult for me because I'll come up slow, and we all do, especially beginners.
Right.
But how am I going to fake you out? Kind of like when your crossover passes, etc. But those are the things that I want to work on.
And I'll tell you the thing that guys like us have going against us is the fact that we grew up playing basketball. It is such a different thing, and to use it as an analogy is great, but the whole activity is completely different for several reasons, not the least of which you are moving faster. Even when you're coasting on skates, you're probably going faster than you would be running down a basketball court, number one. Number two, you don't have the control over the object item, in this case, a puck, that you do a basketball.
Yeah.
And
you're not physically touching it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're holding a stick. You got a glove on that's holding a stick that's got a puck on the end of it.
That's about 60 inches, 30 to 60, whatever.
That's sliding around on something that's got virtually no friction to it. So, and the other thing, too, I think is what I've started to learn is as I've studied, I watch YouTube all the time. When I go to sleep at night, I'll flip YouTube on. Wife falls asleep. I have the headphones on. I'm watching Coach Jeremy. I'm watching hockey
Coach Jeremy,
videos.
thanks. Yep.
And probably the one thing that I see in our league, I know I do it, is as we're going to do the dangle, which is kind of the juke or the move in hockey, we wait till we get too close. You need to be
and then
doing
that
it
comes out
10 feet or so before, because that guy's going backwards. And
unlike in basketball, where you got to get him,
want to get him a little closer.
So you can burn him. Hockey, you got to do it. I mean, this is too close.
Here, because you and I would be too close.
Yeah, you add on that stick length, and there goes the puck. Now you have a turnover.
Exactly. So lest anyone think this is easy to do, you have to take some habits out of your brain that make perfect sense in other sports and kind of throw them out the window.
Yeah, and that was I struggled with starting right away. I'm like, I'm just going to basketball on ice. Stopping was the first thing I learned that you can't cut. You have zero traction. So, those are the things that I wanted to work on. Especially being a D league, you can play around. It's more casual league. So you can make your mistakes where you need to make them. Agreed.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was looking at this season, I thought stick handling, number one thing, because in rec league like this, and even playing in our drop-in or pickup games, he who can handle the puck tends to touch the puck more than not. And sometimes, and I'd say it's the same thing in pickup basketball. If you can bring the ball at the floor, guess what? You're going to touch the ball a whole lot.
Good guard.
I'm just going to stand underneath and rebound. You're probably not going to touch the ball much, or the minute you get it, you're going to try and dump it up the court. So stick handling is definitely something I want to do, get substantially better at. Passing.
Yeah.
And then also being able, it's one thing to know where to pass, but it's also one thing to know who you're passing to and what they're capable of handling. So,
and that helps them their skills too.
Right.
Some of the passes, I had some terrible passes that just kind of blew right behind them, and they had no clue it was coming, and then now we have an icing.
Right. Right. I caught myself doing that. One of the things that we playing with the same guys we did week in and week out over the summer session. It was great because guys knew that, okay, somebody's got a puck here, they knew to take off towards the net, and my favorite pass in that situation, if I'm deep in the defensive zone, is I like to go across ice off the boards. Because it gets the puck out. It gets the puck out of there quickly, but it doesn't send it.
It's less likely to rip it down, and now you got an icing.
An icing, which is in icing, you're not allowed to cross a blue line and a red line.
Yeah.
And then the goal line at the other end. It can't do that. It has to touch somebody.
Because it'll come back. It'll come all the way back, and now the other team has the advantage.
Right, and you have a face-off down there. So that stick handling, passing on